and I'm gonna present my screen to you really quick. Okay. And my entire screen I want to present. Okay. Okay, so Madeline, do you see my screen?
Yes.
This hypothalamus. Okay, cool. So I think I taught you guys this already, but it's been like probably like 3 weeks since you've gone over it. So I just want to review this with you one more time. So because I asked a lot of questions on your tests from this full flow chart.
Right.
So I posted already to the group, to the classroom already, so you can have it. If you want to pull that up, you can and look at it. If not, I'll post this video. You can follow along with it later. Okay. All right. So if you remember, the pituitary gland, if you remember right, the pituitary gland is the master gland, or sometimes called the vice president or whatever. And why is it called the vice president? Oh, sorry, my computer's being weird. It's called the vice president because the hypothalamus controls it. Okay, the hypothalamus will exert control over it. So you have the pituitary here. We'll go over those hormones here in a second. But all the pituitary hormones are gonna be controlled. Their release will be controlled by the hypothalamus. Okay, so the first one you see here is corticotropin releasing hormone. The hormone that's affected. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Hold on. Let's see, let's do 20. Okay, so the hormone that gets released in response to CRH is something called ACTH, adrenocorticotropin hormone. So I'm gonna write that here. So ACTH. So when CRH is released from the hypothalamus, the pituitary releases ACTH in response. Okay. Now when ACTH gets released, the next it goes to the adrenal gland. Okay. That's where it goes. It goes down to the adrenal gland. And if you watch the lecture I did earlier, the adrenal gland has 3 layers. Has 4 layers to it, but ACTH just goes to the adrenal gland. Okay, and what hormones produce in response is going to be, there's 2 of them. You're going to make aldosterone.
So these are notes? These are notes?
You can, yeah, I've already given these notes already, but I'm just reviewing them. But you can if you want them, if you want them, I'll upload the video after we're done to YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Then I'll post a link in the class.
Okay.
So if you just want to follow along with me, you can. Okay, so, but if you want to print out the document and have it with you, you can do that too as well. However you want to handle it, Matt. It's your business. Okay, so hypothalamus releases CRH from the hypothalamus, stimulates the release of ACTH from the anterior pituitary. ACTH then goes to the adrenal gland and produces 2 hormones, aldosterone and cortisol. Okay, this is negative feedback. Okay, this is controlled by negative feedback. So when one gets too high, it shuts the whole system off. Okay, it's just like if you're at home right now and if you cut the air up too high, your dad's gonna get ticked off at you, right, and cut it up, right? Same thing. This is negative feedback. Okay, so when it gets too high, we turn it off. When it gets too low, we turn it on. Okay, and vice versa. So when aldosterone and cortisol levels are too low, hypothalamus will release CRH, which stimulates the anterior pituitary, release ACTH, which goes to the adrenal gland. We make aldosterone and cortisol. Okay, I haven't put this lecture up yet, but these are lipid-soluble hormones. These hormones are lipid-soluble. You're going to learn about the implications of this in a little bit. I think you may have read through it and answered the questions already on the classroom, but these are these are unique because they're lipid-soluble, Madeline. Okay, these are lipid-soluble hormones. So, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in depth when I do the lecture this afternoon. Okay, that's the first set. So CRH to ACTH to the adrenal gland, we release aldosterone and cortisol. There's this negative feedback, and these hormones are unique because they're fat soluble or lipid soluble. Okay, so now we have thyroid releasing hormone. So Madeline, do you know the hormone that's going to be released in response to thyroid releasing hormone?
No.
You don't? Okay, this is TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. Really important one to know. Okay. This is thyroid stimulating hormone. Okay, do you know what now? Can you tell me the organ is stimulated though? Yeah, you tell me what hormone, what organ am I stimulating? What gland am I stimulating with thyroid stimulating hormone? Think about it. Thyroid stimulating hormone. Look at the name, TSH. What gland would I stimulate?
The thyroid?
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is. It's in the name, girl. This is in the name. The thyroid gland. That's it. The thyroid gland stimulates. So the thyroid stimulating hormone stimulates the thyroid, basically. Okay, and we produce two hormones. You don't know these yet. It's T3 and T4. That's it.
So there was a question on one of the. I don't know which one it was. Probably on one of the little paper thing or the classroom, whatever you put on classroom. Right. But it wasn't even on like the lecture.
Okay, it should have been in there, but if not, I'll take a look at it. So T3 and T4. So this is called. These are both thyroid hormones. Okay, they're both thyroid hormones. They're the exact same thing. The only difference is. The only difference between T3 and T4 is this, Madeline, is that T3 has 3 iodines, T4's got 4. That's it. Okay. T3 is more so T4 is more common in the body. T3 is more physiologically active. What does that mean? It stimulates the cells better, basically. Okay. Mm-hmm. So about 85% of your thyroid hormone is T4, about 15% is T3, somewhere in that neighborhood. But the body tends to make more T4. However, the body prefers to use T3, which is weird. So, and it's actually a interesting design behind it. I won't go into it. Just be aware that T3 is this, and I am going to ask this question on your test, so this is important. So T3 is much more physiologically active, means that it stimulates the cells better. T4 is much more common. Okay, really important to know that. So I do ask that on your test. Okay, and this is also negative feedback as well. Okay, and also too thyroid hormone's really weird that it's partly water soluble, lipid soluble, but we classify it as lipid soluble. That's how we classify it. Okay, so it's fat soluble, lipid soluble, and I'll post a lecture over that in a little bit. What the difference between those two? Okay, so we have next one up. We have here, Madeline, is we have growth hormone releasing hormone and growth hormone inhibiting hormone. Okay, so we have GHRH and GHIH. Okay, so for this one, what's going to be released from the pituitary gland in response to this? What hormone? Look at the name over here. What hormone will be released?
The growth hormone?
You got it. Growth hormone. Yes, ma'am. Growth hormone will be released in response to exposure to these. Okay, now, growth hormone releasing hormone releases growth hormone. Growth hormone inhibiting hormone stops you. It blocks it, okay?
Okay.
GHIH is also called somatostatin, is what you might see that term thrown around sometimes, okay? But the only difference is that this is one of the weird ones where growth hormones are affected by 2 different hormones. One stimulates release, one inhibits. That's the only difference. Okay? That's what makes it a little unique. Makes it kind of an oddball. Okay, you don't know the target organs. I know you don't know the target organs. There's 3 of them. And no, this one's actually hard. Okay, so there's 3 target organs of growth hormone, and that's bone, muscle, and lastly the liver. Those are the 3 targets of growth hormone: bone, muscle, and liver. Okay. And we make a hormone that's really important. You need to know. So I'm going to ask this on your test. Is this insulin-like growth factor 1? That's the one you're going to make a response. Or I also call this IGF-1. There you go. So growth hormone releasing hormone, when that's released, we produce growth hormone from the anterior pituitary. Growth hormone then goes to bone, muscle, and liver. We make IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor 1. This is also, you want to guess, negative or positive feedback?
Negative?
Yes, ma'am. It's negative feedback. You got it.
So are all of these going to be negative?
Almost all of them. There's only two. I think I asked this in the one of the assignments. Actually, no, I didn't. There's only 2 positive feedback hormones you have to know.
You asked a question if it was negative or positive, and I didn't know what you were talking about. Okay. I thought you meant like if it was like a good lecture or something.
No. So
I put positive. I was like,
no. Okay, I got you. Okay, I'll go over it. No biggie. Okay, and this is water soluble. Okay, these are water soluble hormones. These are water-soluble hormones.
Okay.
Now, we have gonadotropin-releasing hormone. Okay, we have it on here twice for a reason. Because it stimulates two different pituitary hormones. One is LH, or luteinizing hormone. The other is FSH, or follicle-stimulating hormone.
Okay.
Yep. So, now, LH, these are all going to go to the gonads. Same thing. They're both going to go to the gonads. But they have different effects. Though. So when we release GRH from the hypothalamus, we're going to stimulate the release of LH and FSH. So GRH stimulates the release of two hormones, LH and FSH. Okay, and both of these are going to be in the gonads. What LH does, LH produces. Let's make this a little smaller. Make this down to 14. So we produce testosterone and estrogen, depending on which one, if you're a male or a female. So right. LH will tell the gonads to produce testosterone and estrogen. Okay, this depends. If you're a guy, it'd be testosterone. If you're a chick, it's estrogen. Okay? And this of course, negative or positive feedback. What do you think?
Positive.
Nope, it is negative. This is negative feedback. Yep, this is negative feedback. Well, okay, and these are also lipid soluble too. So these are going to be lipid soluble. So testosterone and estrogen are going to be lipid soluble as well. And I'm going to go over that lecture later today. I'll have it posted tonight, hopefully, so you guys can see the difference and why that's so important. Okay, now.
So this last. The last two are positive?
No, this one's still negative too. Now, FSH is different. FSH stimulates the production. So we produce sperm. We're stimulated when FSH is around, or release eggs.
Okay.
If you're a woman. Okay. So you produce sperm, release eggs. One of those two. Okay, so FSH. So FSH goes to the gonads. We produce sperm in men, or we release eggs in females. This is also negative feedback as well. And there's nothing to worry about here. I'm gonna write NA because they're not making a hormone here. We're just making. I put NA here because there's no hormone made here. We're making sperm and eggs. Those are nothing to worry about there. Okay, so I'm putting NA here for water lipid soluble. There's no hormone here made here in response to FSH. Now, here's the oddball: dopamine. Dopamine's inhibitory only. So the last hormone we haven't talked about is prolactin. Okay, prolactin. So what organ would prolactin go to, Madeline? Look at the name, prolactin. What gland would prolactin go, or what organ, I should say, would prolactin go to? Think about lactation,
the stomach?
Nope, milk. Think about milk. Where's milk made? Where's it made?
The breast?
Yeah, there you go. There it is, breast. Okay? So dopamine. Now, this is a weird thing, okay? So what happens is dopamine is inhibiting prolactin. So right now, if you are not pregnant or you're not nursing, right now, dopamine is inhibiting prolactin right now in your body. And my body too, everybody, unless you're pregnant or lactating, actively lactating. So dopamine will block the release of prolactin. Okay? It blocks the release of prolactin. So basically, we don't want. Trust me, if you're not pregnant, you're not having a baby. You don't need to be making milk right now, obviously, right? I hope you wouldn't be. So the body says, okay, we're going to block the production of prolactin until we're ready for it. So dopamine literally it's like a handbrake on it. No milk's produced. Now, once a woman becomes pregnant, the handbrake goes off. Now we start making prolactin. That makes the breast get a little larger.
Does it always like after you get pregnant? Does it keep doing it?
Yes, it keeps doing it. So what kind of feedback would that be, Madeline? Think about it. What kind of feedback would that be?
So positive?
Yes, ma'am. That's positive feedback. Right. It keeps doing it. It doesn't stop. So negative feedback.
All of these stop. Like all the ones with negative, they stop.
Right. When they get too high, we shut off. When they get too low, we turn back on, and vice versa. Like that. Like that. That's negative feedback, right? When it gets too low, we turn it on so we can get it back in line. When it gets too high, we'll shut it back off. And just like that. Very good.
Okay.
Excellent. Good job. You're catching on. Good. So dopamine's normally shut off. That's why it's important. That's why I'm mentioning dopamine kind of on its own. So dopamine is weird. So it literally blocks prolactin, because once that prolactin loop starts, it ain't shutting off.
Right.
It will not shut off. Okay. And of course, we're going to produce milk. You already told me that already. Very good. It's milk. Good. Positive feedback, and then NA here as well, because there's no hormone made here in response to prolactin. We're making milk. Okay, there you go. So the key thing I want you to take away from this here is this: that pretty much everybody. So there's only two positive feedback you have to know. One's prolactin, the other one's oxytocin. That's the posterior pituitary hormone we talked about before the break. So there's only two positive feedback hormones you need to know for your exam, and those are that is prolactin, and you need to know prolactin and
oxytocin.
Oxytocin, yeah. Let me write that here. Oxytocin helps you deliver the baby, basically. Let me go over that. So the baby's delivered. So the two positive feedback hormones are prolactin and oxytocin. That's it. And remember, oxytocin, that's childbirth. So when oxytocin makes the uterine muscles contract,
right,
to release the baby, and this one is milk production. That's it. That's it. And there you go. So that's everything. So if you understand this and you feel this chart and have it next to you on your test, you're gonna be Gucci.
How do you make the like the little boxes? How do you do the boxes? Like how you have it up there?
Oh, this basically, I mean, what you can do is it's a Word document, so you just type in it as you want. So I'll have this is already uploaded for you, Madeline, already on the page. It's already there.
Oh, okay.
It's already in there. I already got it for you. You're taken care of.
Just type in whatever it needs.
Yeah, just type it in, or you can print it out at your home and write it in if you want. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So there you go. That's how this works. This is what it looks like. So, one more thing. I almost forgot this. I'm sorry. I'm dumb. All of the hypothalamus hormones and all the pituitary hormones are all water soluble. Very important to know that. They are all water soluble. Everybody, so anything made by the hypothalamus and pituitary hormones will always be water soluble, Madeline. Always. Without exception. There's no exception to this. So anything made in the hypothalamus, anything made in the pituitary will be automatically water soluble. Okay. Only ones that'll be lipid soluble will be the ones out here, which would be like aldosterone, cortisol, thyroid hormone, and the sex hormones, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, et cetera. Those will all be lipid soluble. But pretty much, and then the way I would handle studying or preparing, I would just learn the lipid soluble ones. There's only 5 of them. Well, 4. Well, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 6. So aldosterone, cortisol, the sex hormones, those 5, and thyroid hormones. There are 6 of them. That's it. You know those, you're good to go. Everybody else will be water soluble. Okay. So I know it's been a while since I went over this, and it's been like at least 3 weeks I've taught this. So I know you don't remember any of this. That's fine. No biggie. Okay. Any questions for me, Madeline, while I'm on here?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right. And what we'll try to do is I will try to host a hangout once a week for everybody. So if you have questions, or if you need something, or need anything, I will be glad to host hangouts for you guys every week, and we can set a time whatever works best for you. You guys just let me know, and you guys can decide on that in your own. And actually, I'll put a survey up on forums. What's the best time to host a hangout, and what day and time, and I'll make it work for you guys. Anytime during the day is cool with me.
I'm home. I don't do nothing.
I know you're here. I'm glad to hear from you. You sound great.
Yeah, I'm fine. My mom, she's working because they won't close her where she works now because she works at like a therapy place.
Okay.
So they won't close them down.
Absolutely. Yeah, because you're essential. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Miss Madeline, thank you for coming on. Okay. I will talk to you soon. Of course, if you need anything, you always can reach out on the forums or email me. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Have a good one. Okay.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.